Yo, what's up? What's up? I'm going to attempt to take calls. I don't know if this is going to work or not. So, this will not be anything official. I'm going to test this out and we're going to see if it works. I want somebody to call that number that you see on the screen. I want to see if it will come through and we can hear you. Again, I'm going to test this out. I don't know if it's going to work. Again, this is my business number. I haven't did this before, so we're just going to try it out. So whoever calls, let me know that you're actually calling, so I'll know if it actually went through or not. It doesn't work. So I'm not seeing any. It doesn't seem like I received any call. It's not picking up. Let's see. Neither for you, but I'm from Europe. Okay, where are you from? The other guy. Are you in America, actually? Look at this. Yo, yo.
Yo.
Hold on, let me see if I can put you on speaker, bro. Okay, can you hear me?
Alright, yeah, we're, yeah, I can hear you kind of.
Can you hear yourself, or can y'all hear him in the comments? Can y'all hear? Cause I can hear you, bro. But can they hear you?
Alright.
They're saying yeah, alright, they can hear you. Okay, what's up, man? So,
I'm not sure.
all right.
Oh, yeah, I can hear myself.
You can hear yourself? All right, good. All right, cool. We're just testing this out, so it appears to work. All right, what's going on
Alright,
with you,
bro.
bro? Yeah, what's going on with you, man?
I'm good, as always.
Yeah, exactly. How's it been going for you? Like, where are you in the world?
To be honest, like, right now,
Yeah, go ahead.
like, I'm still on my shit. I've always been, like, ever since I started, it, but I started slowing down. Well, I was watching your videos and shit, well, not just yours, but other people, and I was, like, doing like what I do for myself. I started slowing down, and then, but I got back on it, and I'm like doing what I got to do right now. I've been seeing some pretty like powerful state of my dreams, or I've been feeling some powerful energy when I go to meditate at the park or wherever I'm at. I feel some powerful energy right now, and to be honest, with everything going on right now, I'm just like, you gotta keep doing my shit. 'Cause I'm not trying to focus on anything else but myself. I appreciate that you took it knowledge to.
Absolutely. You know what I mean? We definitely have to be strong in our individuality, especially in these Plutonian times. So I appreciate it, man. I definitely appreciate you calling in and testing this out with me, and we're going to keep going, man.
Yeah, bro, you got it.
All right, man. Take it easy. Peace. Yeah. All right. All right. You got that, man. Yeah, we moving forward. We moving forward here. Just making sure I'm getting everything right and exact. So it's look like we can take calls, but I guess it does not work for everybody. So I guess you have to either be in the States or a certain thing. Again, this is a secondary number. So we still have to work out the nuts and the bolts with that. All right. So let me answer these questions here. I had a dream last night and I saw two shadow giraffes and a shadow elephant. Anything you can say about that? Whenever you're dealing with the shadows, any type of shadow beings or shadow figures, we know that everything in the physical reality has a astral counterpart or a dark counterpart. But everything in the astral does not have a light counterpart because all darkness does not manifest into light. So when you are witnessing the shadows, you are essentially witnessing darkness that has not or will not ever materialize in the light, that will completely live out its existence in the dark. So you only can observe it in the unconscious mind, which we go to when we dream. So certain beings and figures can only be seen from the unconscious mind because they do not exist in the light. So when you see these animal figures in the darkness, the primitive waters of reality, we know that all animals are animal totems or symbols of deeper realities. So I encourage you to look up animal totems, look up the giraffe animal totem, look up the elephant animal totem, and see the spiritual attributes that it possesses and implement them. Because those particular animals came to you for a very specific reason. So you must take it upon yourself to bring that darkness, which can only be seen and felt in the darkness, to light. It is now your job to manifest its light, essentially, because it's all you at the end of the day. All right. What are your thoughts on birthmarks? Well, the unofficial definition of birthmarks is they mark your past deeds. Now, officially, it's just called a hormonal thing. You know, birthmarks is just hormonal reactions that happen in the womb at some point, yada, yada, yada. They don't make a big deal out of it officially on record. So on record, of course, birthmarks is just going to be that hormonal reactions. Unofficially, what I mean by unofficially, in the past, you know, they would actually determine what a person was based on their marks. You had a such thing as the witch's marks. And if you possessed one of these marks, it was a telltale sign, a telltale, or however you say that phrase. It was a telltale sign that you were a witch based on your marks, your birthmarks. So, back in the day, your birthmarks was used to judge you. Not so much now, but there was a time where the birthmark could indicate the witch's ability in a person, you can say. So birthmarks become a big deal for practitioners of magic, more so than the average person. What planetary app do I use? I use them all. There's no special one. I use them all. They serve different purposes, so you can get whichever one you want, as long as it works. You know what I mean? Yeah, I just whatever works. You know, it's only a couple. You know, it's not like 15, 20 different planetary apps. You know what I mean? Whichever one you have available to you, use whichever one you have available. You know, it doesn't matter. They all do the same thing. They let you know what planetary hour it is. Oh, nah, it worked. I just put in the wrong number. It was okay. Okay, so I guess we have proven that the number works. So which is good. Many of my dreams are very dark and violent, even though I am only violent when needed. Why could that be? Because we are our opposites in our darkness. The most aggressive person is the most feminine in their dreams. That's all it is. The most violent person in their dreams are the most passive in reality. We embody our opposite in the unconscious mind, which is why it's so scary to people. When you big, tough, and bad, and in your dreams you have no control, it's very frightening. Or when you're a person that's used to being dominated or being passive, you're more passive by nature, then in your dreams you go through Resident Evil violence, you know, heroic violence, and we embody our opposite in the unconscious. This is why dreams matter. This is why the symbolism of your dreams matter, because it introduces you to your opposite or your alter ego, which is where your power is. Your power is in your alter ego, but it can only communicate to you through the darkness, which is where your fears are. So that's the catch-22 with that. All right. Have I studied more science? I don't study anything. I don't study. I just receive. I can't tell you the last book I read, but I receive. That's all. I just prefer to give people a more intimate experience. You know, anybody could read anything. You know, I feel like that doesn't validate anything. That's just my personal thing. So I just rather give you what I have from my internal vision, my shamanism. I'm giving you my shamanism. It has to be verified internally. There is no study that can validate anything I'm saying, because this is original work. There is no study that predates it. Now, I'm not saying like I'm the first one to introduce, you know, metaphysics or the occult, but I'm the first one to do it the way I'm doing it. It's just original, you know, which is what we all have the ability to do. We all are supposed to manifest our originality in our fields. So it's only so original you can be when you're constantly introduced to other people's works. All right. Are you speaking from your throat? I don't know what that means. Where else are you supposed to speak from? What do you mean? The voice, yeah, my voice box is in my throat. Yeah, that's where it's supposed to be, right? What's up, Mr. 777? Do you know about the Prophet 𝕬𝖓𝖊𝖘𝖙𝖎𝖓𝖌? Absolutely. More science validates what you are saying. Islam, you know. I'm well aware, you know. I try to present it in an original way. I'll say that. I try to present it in an original way so it doesn't seem like I'm just repeating what we already know, what has already been said. That's all it is. You know, I want to give an original view of it. So yes, you can call what I do more science. You can call it Islam. You can call it occult. You can call it metaphysics. You know, you can say I'm pulling from 𝕬𝖓𝖊𝖘𝖙𝖎𝖓𝖌. You can say I'm pulling from Elijah Muhammad. You can say 𝕬𝖊𝖘𝖙𝖎𝖓𝖌. We can throw out the names. We know, so on and so forth. I don't wanna. I just try not to name drop in my videos. I try not to name drop too much. Because people start taking things personal if you don't speak about someone that they honor in a favorable light. It start getting real crazy. So I try to stay away from mentioning people for that reason. To keep everything clean cut. So if somebody agrees or disagrees with what I say, then I can directly engage. Because I said it versus, I'm pulling from all type of resources. I'll be able to validate everything I'm saying without having to reference anyone else and what they did. Which just continues what we're supposed to do here. Okay. What's up, Flybird? How to know about past lives and how they affect us in the present. Astrology allows us to study our past life. Through astrology, we study our south node. Our south node gives us the aspects and the dimensions to our past life. So you would definitely have to study your south node or have somebody explain that to you. So your past life karma, all that past life is through the south node of the moon, the dark side of the moon, or the number 7. So I'm going to give you an exact, which is why your name is Mr. 777. So of course you would be concerned with the past lives, because that's your domain, just based off of your frequency. Do you suggest becoming more of our shadow self in dreams to unlock potential success in this realm? Absolutely. You got to become a real demonic person in your dreams. You got to dig real deep. Motherfuckers be scared and shit. Motherfuckers, you can't be scared. Not in your dreams. Because you know that fear is you're gonna succumb to fear every time if you allow that to intercept your dreams. It's hard enough to remember dreams, to record your dreams, to extract wisdom from your dreams. All these things are already hard in and of themselves. So you must not allow anything to stop your dreaming. You must dream. You must dream. That's the only way you're going to receive what you need to receive to unlock your potential. You have to receive it. You can't think your way out of this. You can't think your way out of this. You must receive from a external source. Or you can call it internal. But it's not going to come from the conscious mind. There is no conscious solution. The solution has to come from the sub and unconscious. You have to receive it from beyond. You have to tap into your higher states of consciousness in order to receive and affect your physical reality. All right. Let's reason and break bread. The numbers on the screen. You know what I mean? The numbers on the screen. What's the best way to work with your subconscious mind using alchemy? There is no best way. You have to develop your way. There is no best way because everybody has special alignments. This is what the occult teaches us. The occult teaches us there's no one size fits all solution. We must craft our own reality in accordance to our star alignments. We must craft our reality based upon our alignments. Our alignments must serve as a foundation for our alchemy. So if you have no idea what your star alignments are and what they mean, then you can't craft your alchemy in accordance to this. So if you're basically, to answer your question, if we were using astrology, what's the best way to work with your subconscious mind? Well, astrology teaches us or tells us the subconscious mind is the moon. And alchemy, well, what's the planet of alchemy? The planet of alchemy is Neptune. So you have the moon and Neptune. So the moon-Neptune midpoint will be something that you want to look at, or just the moon and the Neptune in your own chart. See, the occult allows us to get direct access to anything we ask. And that's what the occult does. So anything that you want to know, you can get direct access to it. All right. So Rashad Rasta 47. People get too caught up in words instead of what's actually being communicated. Yeah, most definitely. Which is why I do my best. I do my best to say as pure as possible. Which is why you see me, I just got a towel on, just letting it be known. It's no theatrics. We just want to build, keep everything smooth, everything nice, clean, cut, black and white. All right. Number 44 shows up to me every day. Can you please give me your view of what it can mean for me? But 44 is the master healer. The number 44 is not acknowledged in Western numerology, but it is acknowledged in Eastern numerology. So you have to study Eastern numerology to get the full science of the 44. Because you're right. The Western numerology only acknowledged master number 11, master number 22, master number 33. So 44 is only acknowledged in the East. So you have to pull from the Eastern foundation to get the full understanding of the 44, which is the master healer. Oh, yes, I see this. They tried to hide your comment, Bobby. Hold on, I'm receiving a call. Peace.
Peace and blessings to you. It's Shaka over here from London.
Peace, peace. What's going up? Going up.
We all going up. It's all going up. Everything going up right about now. You already know.
Absolutely, absolutely. We definitely in new times, new territory. So we got to forward from the nothingness. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I fully hear you.
Absolutely, absolutely. I appreciate you tapping in from London. Definitely have a wide audience. I definitely appreciate you calling in from overseas, man. I know y'all getting hit real heavy over there as well.
Absolutely, it's coming in thick and fast. As you know, the Northeast is someplace, I don't know whether to call it geographically or astrologically, how you want to put it.
Yes.
But this is where it's almost like a somewhat an epicenter of this thing. I don't even want to mention its name. You know what I
mean? We know how it is. But absolutely.
But
absolutely.
I wanted to also say to you, on a real, everything you've been doing, not just like recently, I've just seen it pop back up into my this feed of YouTube, and I wanted to say everything you've been doing since day dot was following you early days when you used to do the little walks all across your ends, and there's a lot I recall from that, bringing it forward into the present moment. My question to you is, what do you think is the real option for us as a people? And because it's very hard for me to define what we would call ourselves, being that most people have an intertwinement with many different types of energies.
Yes.
So for example, I can say this guy is a black man on a 3-dimensional level, but when the actual inner essence is, I won't say littered, but seasoned with so many various elements based on their own personal experience and perception, you know? So, for example, myself, here in the UK, it's a lot different to most people and I'm sure it's exactly the same in the US. My people in the US know as well. But it's one of those things where we don't understand the history of where we've come from. And as such, going forward, it's very difficult to align with where we're going for very many people. I noticed that lately you've been talking a lot about the eastern side of astrology, and it's something that I find over the past 5 years. I'm a student of astrology for the past 10 years, but over the past 5 years, I've found myself resonating highly with the Vedic perception when it comes to astrology, due to the fact that I find Western astrology very individualistic in its nature. And so going forward, obviously knowing that, the Vedic teachings are probably the closest we could find to the ancients, I wondered how you would relate that to the present moment as of now.
Excellent. Now, I just, I'll keep the call going as well. Now, Very, very, very jam packed.
Yeah,
Nah,
my
I
bad.
pre no, I appreciate the intimacy. No, so no, that's what we're here to do. We're here. You know what I mean? We definitely want to hear. I'm pretty sure. People hear me all the time. People hear me all the time. So I'm pretty sure it's a breath of fresh air to be able to, connect with different parts of the earth and hear it from an internal perspective from somebody who is conscious, is in the know. So to answer your question, especially taking it to the Eastern astrology and just all of the Eastern mysticism as a whole, and why this is absolutely necessary, why this has been cooking and brewing in the internal realms of our reality for a long time now, because it's very easy to get involved with the arrogance and the individual perspective of astrology, and which can taint the reality of it, because the reality and the holistic nature of astrology, especially from an Eastern perspective, is showing you more so your star origins. What do I mean? Because the Eastern perspective, Eastern astrology integrates the fixed stars, such as Spica, such as Sirius, Personian. They integrate the fixed stars, so you actually can see your relationship with the constellations. It takes you so much deeper, also incorporating the lunar mansions. The whole premise of Eastern astrology is going beyond. The lunar matches were only applied to the moon originally. Eastern astrology basically expanded that. We're going to apply these attributes to all of the planets instead of just the moon. So this is the development of Eastern astrology. Why we have the 20 or the 26 houses versus the
Yep.
12 houses on Western astrology. Those
Yep.
are
Yep.
the same houses that are called the lunar mansions, which was strictly applied to the moon. Now it is being applied to all of the planets. So when we have a more holistic perspective of the lunar mansions, which is basically influencing the nature of the moon, which is the subconscious mind. So my answer, just without being too long winded, we must tap into our subconscious mind and be more lunar based. The main difference between the Western astrology and the Eastern astrology is the Western astrology focuses on the sun. The sun is the main point, and the Eastern astrology focuses on the moon, because the moon is actually the most powerful planet in your chart because it influences you emotionally. Your sun is more so like your overall direction in life. It's more so the grand picture. But in terms of your daily trials and tribulations and your daily tasks, what's going to affect you on a day to day basis, moment to moment, hour to hour basis, that's the moon. So I encourage, see your moon sign from both perspectives, the east and the west, to see how you're going to deal with this pandemic on an individual level. It also grants you access to your subconscious mind, because we know the moon rules over the fourth house, the home. So the moon is dominant. Us being in the home means the lunar energy is the most dominant right now versus the solar. You can't get out and bust your ass and, be masculine anymore. Now it's time to get feminine, lunar, get more in tune with the lunar cycles, especially with your own chart, and also paying attention to the moon, because every time the moon changes its signs, we see an effect on an emotional level. So all of these tides, ups and downs that we are experiencing is in direct correlation to our lunar energy.